Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic Lesser Known Classics. This is episode number 2763, double number 2773. So 2873, double number 2767. Okay, so all Howard the Duck this episode. So we're discussing a Howard the Duck trade and two one-shots. And that's it. The first thing we're discussing is basically the Howard the Duck Media Duckling trade, which collect the entire fourth volume for Howard the Duck, along with it also collected the first issue of Howard the Duck released in the 70s, which I've reviewed already, so I'm not worried about that, along with his short story from Civil War Choosing Sides, which came out a year prior to this volume. But I'm kind of discuss basically some of the stuff because, well, I'll be reviewing this a little later. So, in the case of what was released here in this one shot, Choosing Sides, the opening story here is Mark Guggenheim's story. And it's called Switching Sides. Now, who is this one focused on? By the way, the opening story is focused on Venom. Yep. Now, the whole thing with this one, this is mostly put, I think I may have discussed this already in a Thunderbolts trade. Basically, this is a lead into the Venom, it leads into Venom, Venom's time in Thunderbolts, collected there. The second story is the Irredeemable Ant-Man, the Constant Objector, which apparently takes place during a Fantastic Four issue. Yep, it takes place during the events of Fantastic Four. 539 is basically the first parent. The whole thing with this first issue here, this particular special, this story here, it's the first appearance of Eric O'Grady Ant-Man. And oh boy, it's basically him just chewing stuff and just watching stuff. Those who've not familiar Eric O'Grady, this is the man who's basically who at one point, get this, he spied on Carol Danvers taking a shower. Yes, the man is a notorious pervert. He is rude. He's a jerk. And this whole short story here leads to his ongoing series, which lasts 12 issues. I might discuss later. So, and then we have next to which I think this is collected. Yeah, I believe definitely was collecting the first trade for Mortal Iron Fist. Story for him. The next story here is called U.S. Agents Choosing Sides. Mark Oming. The whole thing is one is like, you have basic U.S. agents show up at Avengers Tower, and after he's like cutting back between him, talking to Stark, and just dealing with the Purple Man. Basically, in his country, he's being sent to Canada. And this is the response. Screw you, Stark, Canada? You want to sign me to frickin' Canada? Yeah, and his whole thing, this whole short story here is a lead into a mega flight. That's all the short story is. And so basically Stark wants a known dick to lead a mega flight. A U.S. citizen leading a Canadian superhero team. Well, this of course is a heroic version compared to the original version, which is basically a villain group. Now, next story is called Non-Americans, which is this is the one that is collected in the Howard Duck Media Duckling trade. This whole short story here was released a year prior to the miniseries Howard the Duck Volume 4. Basically, it's run by Ty Templeton, who also does the miniseries. The artwork here is done by Robbie Luttrutch, who basically draws Howard. And I appreciate the fact that they draw Howard like this. He's drawn like the way when Steve Gerber basically drew the title, when he was writing the title. And I think that basically he has his pants here, though it's like a traditional Howard the Duck story, where the whole thing with this one, he's trying to register with the Superhuman Registration Act, and his only superpower is that he knows quack fu. Thinking, really? Yeah, that's his whole thing. And apparently people have known about him for the guy who was a regional director of him 6 months. Yeah. That's the whole thing with this one. It's like him registering because everybody's got to register because it's a thing for the Marvel Comic Kingdom for the time. I think I remember reading this when it came out. I believe so. But the very good, they finally added in here. But the very next thing to discuss here, I don't remember reading this when it came out. A lot of the other stuff I did read when it came out, initially when the stuff was released this period of time. But this miniseries, I don't remember reading. I read this later, online. I thought it was really good. That's one thing I appreciate, though, but like, I gotta say, but the last story in here is interesting. The last story in the Choosing Sides one shot, after the Howard the Duck one, is a story for the character Guiding Light. You're thinking, who the heck is Guiding Light? She was an original character who only appeared for this one shot. The whole thing is made based on its. Basically, the whole thing was basically apparently it's a collaboration between Marvel and the soap opera Guiding Light. Her full name is Harley Davidson Cooper. Her husband is Gus Davidson. Yeah, who debuted in Spider-Man and Power Pack #1. Yeah. The best way I can describe this particular short story, it's a completely it's a good story. I do appreciate it between Spider-Man and New Avengers, but my gosh, this character was completely useless, and it's set before the events of Civil War 1. Yep. But the main miniseries, Howard the Duck, released in 2007. Yep. Lasting only 4 issues, and like I just mentioned, I don't remember reading this when it came out. I read it later on. I thought it was a really interesting book. It's also by Ty Templeton. It's basically Howard, where he's still living in Cleveland. He actually has a job now. They kind of mention this. They kind of show him this too in the one shot, that he is a cabbie now, and he does not wear his hat in the miniseries. Nope, that's kind of the weird thing in the Choosing Sides one shot. He's wearing his traditional garb, his suit that he's worn for decades. But by the miniseries, he stopped wearing it. I don't know what the reason was that Ty did this. They released this miniseries like a year after the one shot came out. It's basically the whole thing is Beverly has become an actress and she wants to have her own job. And it's a very interesting miniseries, what it is. And Howard's got like this orange around his eyes, which is basically a take on the whole thing related to black circles under his eyes. That's kind of what that is. Let me show off the cover of the first issue here because, let's see. Here it is. Because it looks like he has not had much sleep. Like, the first issue opens up, he's sleeping back in his own cab. Yeah. And the biggest thing with this miniseries is that he's working with She-Hulk to clarify he is an actual... Well, he's not human per se, but that he is a citizen of the United States. That's basically what he's fighting for this miniseries. My guess is Marvel releases this miniseries because I guess people like the Howard the Duck short story and the Choosing Sides one shot, so I guess they figured though, hey, why don't we just launch a Howard the Duck miniseries? Not ongoing, just a miniseries. And the first appearance in Howard's Dream of Earth 7421. It's a Earth where Howard plays poker with Fing Fang Foom, the Thing, Bigfoot, Frankenstein's monster, and Man-Thing. Yeah. And like he wakes up and basically he's sharing a bed. He still shares a bed with Beverly. And she even makes out with him a few times for the miniseries where she's like kissing him via his beak. And that's kind of the miniseries. It's basically just a day and it's like a week in Howard's life. It's a fun miniseries. And here's the sad thing. Next volume will not come out for 8 years. We will not see the Howard the Duck book is released until 2015. And the reason? Well, his cameo in Guardians of the Galaxy. But what happened to these characters? What happened to Howard and Beverly after this miniseries wrapped up? Well, in the case of Beverly, once this miniseries wrapped up, she popped up in X First Class Finals, the Back and Quack one-shot, an issue of New Avengers Volume 2. I think she was trying to be a babysitter for Luke Cage and Jessica Jones. Yep. And then she popped up a few issues of Howard the Duck Volume 6. And that was it for the character. She never appeared ever again. Yeah. But what about our titular character, Howard? Yeah, what happened to Howard? Well, he was still active after this miniseries wrapped up. Oh, yes, he was. Oh, in case you're curious, though, does Howard smoke in the miniseries? So, shockingly, no, he does not light up a cigar in the whole miniseries. He did in the previous one. That's nature, he did. But Howard, after his miniseries wrapped up, this one anyways, what did he do afterwards? Well, here's what he did. Popped up a couple of Secret Invasion, Marvel Assistant Spectacular, X-Men Finals, and then appearing not one, not two, but 3 miniseries. Not entire Howard the Duck. We appeared Marvel Zombies 5, Fear Itself, Fearsome 4, Marvel Zombies Destroy, Web of Spider-Man 20.2, issue of Wolverine the X-Men, a short story of Original Sins. I think this was like the final issue of She-Hulk. Yeah, final issue of She-Hulk, which, get this. And you're gonna love this. Basically, kind of like the final issue was like led into the Howard Duck ongoing, which I love the Howard Duck ongoing, which he was still pretty much active. And then when his ongoing ended, he had another miniseries, Deadpool the Duck. Loved it. Was featured sporadically afterwards, featured Spider-Woman, Doctor Strange, and the Sorcerer Supreme. Unbeatable Squirrel Girl back in that book, a couple times in Sorcerer Supreme. An issue of Patsy Work Hellcat in the final issue of that book. He kind of, for some reason, became a recurring character on Unbeatable Squirrel Girl. Don't know why. Appeared in Moon Girl Devil Dinosaur, the opening issue of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 5, War Realms, War Scrolls, which is this one-shot revealed, this story in here revealed his real name, Howard Duckson. Cosmic Ghosts Smart Universe, Marvel Comics 1000, Amazing and Full Circle, issue of Black Cat, couple issues of Avengers, Wolverine Black, White, and Red, Marvel, Strange Academy, for a couple issues, Damage Control Volume 4, for a couple issues, Avengers Assemble Omega, the Invincible Iron Man 1 issue, and Spider-Boy number 9. But we do have a couple more things to discuss here when it comes to Howard. Yes, a couple more things to discuss for Howard. And you're thinking, what else to discuss for Howard? Well, I don't remember if I discussed this one already, but here we go. After his appearance over in Ghostwave, he had a holiday special released in the 1980s. In 1996. Where it was written by... This might surprise you. Larry Hama wrote this thing with Mikhail Fury. It's just a Howard the Duck Celebrate Christmas. I'm like, not a bad idea. I love this. I thought this whole thing was awesome. And then I'm doing something quite interesting. The last thing I discussed in this video before I end it is another Howard the Duck one-shot. And you're thinking, okay, what one-shot is this one? It's, well, for some reason it's not counted. Because it's a one shot. I don't know if it's ever gonna be a collector or not. I have no idea if it's going to be. I kind of hope it's going to be, but so released just about a year ago. No Trade the Collective for some reason. this one shot was created to celebrate 50 years of Howard the Duck. Yep, I read it last year. I'm only reviewing it now because it's the last Howard the Duck book to discuss. That it has the name. Of course, it's miniseries discussed here, but yes, this is it right here. It's a loose nod to the first issue, one of the early issues of Zardesky's Howard the Duck book. Yeah, and this was the first Howard the book released in, like, here's the thing. Howard the Duck Volume 6 ended in 2017. I loved Howard the Duck, basically, by Zardesky. I thought he did a great job. But then, like, nothing. Mostly which was a guest star in people's books for the next several years. And then they released this one shot. Completely out of nowhere. Where it's an alternate take on what Zardesky was doing. And Zardesky would write the opening story. It's basically alternate take on basically the main Marvel Universe. And the second story is basically it's all about what ifs. Look into the multiverse. Second story is by Daniel Kibblesmith. You're thinking, that name doesn't sound very familiar. Did he do something Marvel? Yeah, he created Darkhawk. Well, actually, he may have worked on Darkhawk, but maybe a different one. But yeah, he basically first book of work was a Lockjaw miniseries. He has written a few other stuff. The whole thing with this one, what if Howard Duck became president? The second story is, what if Howard Duck became an X-Man? Yes, there was a story here for that one. Next day, what if Howard Duck became the new Star-Lord? Yes, I love this one. This was awesome. Yeah. And that was it. Oh, by the way, the other writers, Kibbleston wrote the second one with Joe Quinnis on the, let's see, Zardesky Joe Quinnis did the opening story because they did work in the main ongoing series. Kibbleston and Ann Wu did the second one. X-Men one, that's Jason Lowe and Derek Charm. The final was by Merrick Kay and Will Roopson. And that's the last thing discussed for Howard the Duck. And the whole thing is like I look at the cover, I'll show you here, it's basically like a hammer smashing into Howard's cake. While in the background, you have Hulk and Thor fighting each other. It's not their anniversary. Oh no. They celebrated their 50th anniversary back in, I think it was like 2012, I think it was. Yes. I think at the time this came out, the previous year they had celebrated 60 years. But this year, oh boy. Here are the anniversaries celebrated this year for comics. You have 50 years of Wolverine, 50 years of Iron Fist, 20 years of Laura McKinley. Yep. Howard's was last year. Man-Thing, I don't think it's his. No. I think his was like 1971, I think it was. Let's see. Man-Thing's debut was back in 1971, where he had his 50th anniversary in 2021. I don't know if anybody else has any anniversaries this year when it comes to comics. The only thing I could possibly think of was maybe like, what about from DC? None that I could think of. The only anniversary I could think of probably happening this year, I can't think of any from DC. Nope, not really. But in the case of the stuff here, me and Duckling get that 9 out of 10. This Howard Duck one shot, which is hilarious. I give this one a 9. Valley Special, give it a 9 as well. Okay? So yeah, that's particularly a particular view. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and do the dislike button. What Howard Duck finished, basically, this has been replaced by the book he debuted in, Man-Thing. X-Men debut in Adventures of Fear, but it's his best friend's title, so why not? The original plan was to replace Man-Thing with Howard the Duck, but I swapped it. Yeah. But yeah, I'm done reviewing Howard the Duck. Completely. Well, for the main series. There's other mini series I'm going to review for him, yes, but Howard Duck is awesome. I read a Substack thing recently where I think it was this book where Zardesky begged Marvel he could do another Howard the Duck book. And apparently they said no, but that was like, and then of course this one shot came out last year. But maybe he could do another one. I don't know, but I love this book. It's just amazing. Check it out. Like, I would definitely check out Zardesky's book because it is pure awesomeness. I love his book. I kind of wish Marvel not canceled it. I really wish they didn't. Oh well. So yeah. So I'll see you in the next video, which would be, I thought it was going to be Case Close, but I figured, oh, I'm going to work on One Piece. Okay? Next video. Bye.